going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Getting very interesting out there with Manchester City as the clock ticks towards transfer deadline day. Just got 3 full days left, or 2 days, whichever way you want to look at it. We've got today, tomorrow, and Friday to get our deals done, and the clock is ticking. It's going to be busy. Very busy. So, if you want to stay up to date every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news here on YouTube, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Now less than 400 subs away from 32,000 subscribers. My aim, hit that by the end of transfer deadline day. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. 300 likes is the aim for this video, so any help towards that would be fantastic. And also don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the outs, and we've got a big update on Cole Palmer. Now Alan Nixon has said it's getting to the point where it's going to be a case of either Cole Palmer or James McAtee will be leaving Manchester City this summer. Only one, not the other. The other is going to be competing for a place in the Manchester City squad. A lot here depends on the business that Man City get done between now and transfer deadline day in terms of the incomings. We know Manchester City are looking at central midfielders. We know that Manchester City are trying to add a little bit more depth to their midfield. We've already brought in Jeremy Doku, and because of that, I think that may free up Cole Palmer more than it would James McAtee. A lot for McAtee, in my opinion, depends on if we end up signing a central midfielder or not. If no central midfielder is signed between now and transfer deadline day, we don't have a choice but to keep James McAtee. And I'll be honest, I'm not completely against that. It's a big risk going into the season that if we pick up any more injuries, with the injury that we've already had to Kevin De Bruyne, we're looking a bit stretched. If we can keep the players fresh and fit, then we will cope. We coped last season, we won a treble with a thin squad. It's a little bit more thin this season with that injury to Kevin De Bruyne, so it's well within City's best interest to add more quality to their team. And it is a risk putting McAtee into the City first team squad when he's got very little experience, in particular in the Premier League. But when you're a young player, there's only one way that you're going to learn. He's already showcased at Sheffield United last season in the Championship that he is more than good enough, that he is a high quality player. Man City gave him pre-season because they rate him that much, and sometimes you've just got to throw the youngsters in at the deep end. Work wonders with Phil Foden. It worked wonders with Rico Lewis, and I think it can work wonders with James McAtee as well. As I said, a lot with what happens with Palmer and with James McAtee, a lot depends on the business Man City do with their incomings. Now, Alan Nixon says that Manchester City, they're not that keen on selling Cole Palmer permanently, despite interest coming in from West Ham, from Burnley, from Brighton and Hove Albion. We've heard Wolves getting linked as well. So I wonder if we're now edging more towards loaning Cole Palmer rather than selling him. A loan would make more sense. A loan is easier to get done than a permanent sale. A couple of weeks ago, I was reported, it was being said that Manchester City didn't want to loan these young players. It's either a case of sell them or keep them. That stance seems to have changed, and things seem to be suggesting, to me anyway, potentially Man City not signing a central midfielder this summer or adding any more quality to their central midfield as of right now. Now we're going to move on to the ins. We've got an update on a young player, new name, comes in the form of Jamal Baptiste over at West Ham United. He's a 19-year-old defender. A highly rated player. Fabrizio Romano has given it the here we go. He's set to sign for Manchester City. He will be part of Manchester City's elite development squad, the EDS. Manchester City have lost a lot of EDS players, either selling them and making profit or loaning them out. That Manchester City obviously looking at some high quality young players to go into the EDS to help not only improve their elite development squad for Manchester City, but also to put us in a position that we can bring these young players players in, have them here for 2 or 3 seasons, see where they're at in terms of their development, either promote them to the first team squad or what Manchester City have been doing, which sounds quite brutal, which is sell these young players on for profit, which is how Manchester City run their business. It's how we've managed to be very tight on our net spend, and this summer has been no different. However, we don't seem to have that many experienced young players now left at the club that have got a good 2 or 3 years experience within the Manchester City academy. Because of that, I think Man City are just poking around the world, around the Premier League, to see which high quality young players are available for a good price, to bring them in, to give them access to their development at a brilliant academy with Manchester City, and go from there. And I think Jamal Baptiste is going to be one of them players as well. Looking forward to seeing how he does with the EDS and how he plays and where he goes from there. And I'm always a fan of adding high quality young players to the Manchester City team. Now, moving on to the final transfer takes us on to a gigantic update on Matheus Nunes, and the clock's ticking. I've still not heard word about Wolves and what they want to do with Manchester City's second offer, believed to be around 60 million euros. We were reporting yesterday that Man City wanted to get this deal done. Manchester City prepared to meet Wolves' valuation for 60 million pounds. It's been reported by the Mail that Manchester City, with their bid not wanting to go over 60 million euros, you're looking at 55 million pounds. Wolves are wanting over 60 million pounds. It remains to be seen as to whether if Man City are prepared to add on an extra 5 million pounds and get this deal done. Then I think Manchester City, this late in the window, considering we're prepared to pay 85 million pounds on Lucas Paqueta, I think City aren't really in a position to be able to negotiate. It's either you pay it or you miss out. And the word coming in from the Mail is Man City very much aren't going to go over their offer of 55 million pounds. Matheus Nunes has gone on strike. That's not gone down very well at Wolves. Apparently Manchester City was surprised by this, and City aren't too impressed with this either. Man City, though, it's all about finances, it's all about money, it's all about negotiations. Man City holding their value. They're not going to go over 55 million pounds. Wolves want to keep him at Molineux unless Manchester City are going to pay that price of over 60 million pounds. They're not mentioning just how far over 60 million pounds it is, but going off the fact that City aren't budging on 55 million pound, I'm going to presume that it is a fair bit over 60 million pound that Man City just simply aren't going to get the business done. And the word from the Mail as of this morning is Manchester City, and the stance has been there for over a week. If we cannot agree a deal, we are prepared to walk away from this transfer. The big news here is I'm not hearing word of Man City getting linked with anybody else, which is this late in the window, suggesting to me, because Man City will not panic buy, Man City may just say, that's that, with the business, which matches up with what Alan Nixon was reporting on when we had that update with Cole Palmer and James McAtee, which is Cole Palmer more than likely leaves Manchester City on loan to get first team experience. We're covered on the wings with Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku and Jack Grealish. Then 4 players can compete for Manchester City. However, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, they're going to help Manchester City when it comes to Kevin De Bruyne's recovery and our squad not feeling too much of an impact. So I wonder whether Manchester City may just want to keep hold of Cole Palmer and James McAtee for depth into our team, because once we get back after the international break in September, we're going to be playing every 3 to 4 days, and it's difficult with the transfer window closing before we get to that matter. I do feel like, though, with De Bruyne's injury, we are 1 or 2 injuries away from being severely depleted in our team. There's a reason why Man City want to sign a central midfielder. They want more depth, but you don't want to overspend on a player who, let's be brutally honest here, is going to be a squad rotated player. Once we have De Bruyne back, Manchester City will be firing on all cylinders. But the big question has to be asked about Kevin De Bruyne, 32 years old, consistently picking up the same injury. Is he ever going to be the same? And I think Manchester City wanted to spend big on their midfield this summer, and it just simply hasn't worked out. Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, it's not worked out, and I think Manchester City, it sounds to me, may just be happy to go with the young players because it gives us an additional few months either to the winter window or more likely to next summer, where Manchester City can potentially spend bigger to go out there and sign a long-term Kevin De Bruyne replacement, which then doesn't leave us short out wide. We're not as reliant on Kevin De Bruyne and him not getting injuries, and it gives us more depth into our midfield as well. So interesting. Be interesting to see if City get linked with anybody else. It'll be interesting to see if Man City have put this news out there on purpose to try and get Wolves to buckle. Is there a game being played? What we do know, fact, the clock's ticking. Time's running out for Manchester City to get this deal done. And I would go as far as to say if an agreement isn't in place for Manchester City by tomorrow evening, I don't think we'll be signing Matheus Nunes, and I don't think we'll be signing anybody else. Love to know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. So, there we go. That has been today's transfer update. Do leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Plenty more Manchester City content to come. Plenty more Manchester City transfer content. We're going daily with our Manchester City transfer updates. If there's more big developments today, I'll be back again with another video later on for you guys to enjoy. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and slide across at the bottom of the screen. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well, TikTok link in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. And I'll see you all again very soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.